Gavin Rice, coming back to you, this VAT number, I mean, Angela, as a former Treasury Minister, she's a numerate person. 5% isn't a huge amount, but the symbolism of that, because you can only remove the 5% VAT on energy prices because we're outside the EU. So quite a lot of Brexiteers on the Tory backbenches and indeed on the Labour backbenches and those ex-Labour constituencies might like that, not just for the 5%, but because it's a kind of Brexit bonus.
Yeah, I think that's right. And of course, Boris Johnson himself, when he was campaigning to leave the EU,
he did.
Cited VAT on energy as one of those potential things that we could do differently outside of the European Union. And that is true. Unfortunately, he sort of lapsed into a little bit of civil service ease, sort of saying that, oh, well, offering a VAT cut is, not the most progressive way to spend that money.
And he called it a blunt instrument.
A blunt instrument, that's right, yeah, exactly. The idea being that, the benefit of the cut would not necessarily always go to those that are the very worst off. But you've got to realise that this is actually a crunch for the worst off, but also across the income distribution as well. But I do think we have to come back to that question of the environmental levies, which definitely generate the biggest part of the increase of the cost.
It's about 25%, isn't it? That seems to be now it's a figure I've used in columns over the months. We've used it on the money. It's been reasonably well sourced. The government's never acknowledged it's 25%. They like to keep it vague. But I think they now can't deny it's that much.
I think that's right. And it is based on analysis of government figures. But even if it's 15%, 20%, 23%, whatever it is, it is pretty chunky. Something that is surprising is that Boris Johnson was clearly elected on a mandate of delivering for many lower income voters who are absolutely core to his electoral coalition that he's assembled in 2019. And what's slightly puzzling is that the government it does seem to be reluctant to acknowledge that there is some tension and some conflict between the need to deliver for those lower income voters and the position that it's committed to on net zero. Those net zero policies are popular until you start costing them, at which point all of a sudden people suddenly are less enthusiastic about them.